Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game.
Steve Kerr on Stephen Curry. He never dwells on what could have held him back, and I love that about him. When you think of Stephen Curry, you don't just think of the rings, the MVPs, or the records. You think of a player who changed the game of basketball. Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors, recently opened up about what truly sets Curry apart, and it's not just his legendary shooting. It's his mindset. Steph never spends time thinking about what went wrong or what might have derailed his career, Kerr shared on the Glue Guys podcast. I absolutely love that about him. Curry has always put the team above everything. While his jaw-dropping range and quick release helped revolutionize how the game is played, essentially ushering in the three-point era, his real power lies in his unshakable commitment to winning, no matter what it takes. This is a guy who once went 0-for-9 from deep in an NBA Finals game, and didn't blink. Why? Because he knows that missing shots is just part of the journey. What matters most is doing whatever it takes to win. That fearless approach is something Steve Kerr deeply respects, especially because it's the opposite of how he felt during his own playing career. I was constantly overthinking every miss, every bad game. I'd lose sleep over it, Kerr admitted. It took me years to let go of that pressure. But Steph? He just plays. He lets it fly, always. He doesn't let fear creep in. And that's why he's so special. Curry's mental freedom has become a cornerstone of the Warriors' success. His confidence is contagious. But Kerr knows they can't rely on Steph alone, not anymore. As the team looks ahead to the next season, there's a pressing need for more reliable shooters around him. The Warriors haven't made major moves in free agency so far, and questions about the future of Jonathan Kuminga still linger. But regardless of how that plays out, one thing is clear. Golden State needs more floor spacing if they want to compete at a high level again. Without Curry on the floor, the team's offense struggles, and that's a problem in today's NBA, where spacing and shooting are everything. Still, if there's one constant the Warriors can count on, it's this: Stephen Curry will show up, shoot his shot, and give everything he has, without hesitation, and without fear. And that's the kind of greatness you simply can't teach. But while Curry's greatness is unquestioned, even legends need help. The Warriors' offseason has been surprisingly quiet, too quiet for a team looking to return to title contention. No splashy free agent signings, no blockbuster trades. Instead, Golden State has taken a wait-and-see approach, particularly surrounding the future of rising star Jonathan Kuminga. And that hesitation could cost them. Curry is still performing at an elite level, but the burden on his shoulders has become unsustainable. Without consistent shooting threats around him, opposing defenses are free to collapse and smother him, and when he sits, the floor spacing virtually disappears. You take Steph off the floor, and the whole offense tightens up, one NBA analyst noted. That's not just a Curry problem, that's a roster problem. Steve Kerr knows this better than anyone. Despite Curry's historic shooting, the rest of the roster has struggled to stretch the floor. Players like Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson, once key contributors, have faced inconsistencies in both production and health. With Thompson now gone and no major offensive reinforcements added, Curry is set to carry an even bigger load. That's a dangerous gamble for a team with championship aspirations. And while Curry continues to lead by example, showing up, staying positive, taking the big shots, even his patience has limits. Behind the scenes, sources say Curry has been increasingly vocal about the team's direction, urging the front office to make moves that align with a win-now mentality. He's not getting any younger, another league insider said. He wants to compete at the highest level, and he needs the right pieces around him to do that. Meanwhile, fans and analysts alike are growing restless. Social media has been flooded with calls for action, and the buzz around the Warriors' front office grows louder by the day. Will they make a move? Or will they risk wasting another year of Steph Curry's prime? One thing is certain, the clock is ticking. And while Stephen Curry may never dwell on missed shots or past failures, the Warriors can't afford to ignore what's in front of them. Because if they don't act soon, they risk squandering not just a season, but the twilight of a once-in-a-generation career. Jonathan Kuminga urged to follow ex-Maverick star's blueprint to become a hero in Golden State. Despite months of uncertainty, all hope is not lost for Jonathan Kuminga's future with the Golden State Warriors. All off-season, the 22-year-old forward and the Warriors have been at a crossroads over a potential contract extension. Kuminga reportedly turned down a $45 million offer, possibly holding out for a more lucrative deal, or perhaps a fresh start elsewhere. Meanwhile, the Warriors have yet to find a trade package compelling enough to move on from the young talent. But amid all the tension, NBA analyst Kevin O'Connor has offered a different perspective, one rooted in growth, sacrifice, and long-term success. He's not calling for Kuminga to demand a bigger role, nor is he suggesting a trade is the only path forward. Instead, O'Connor believes Kuminga could become a hero in Golden State, if he's willing to embrace the right role. His advice? Be the modern-day version of Shawn Marion. A winning blueprint, the Shawn Marion model. During a recent appearance on Yahoo Sports, O'Connor encouraged Kuminga to lean into the kind of player Warriors head coach Steve Kerr envisions him becoming. I just wish Kuminga would embrace the role Kerr has in mind for him, O'Connor said. That's being a modern-day Shawn Marion. And Marion was a hell of a player, a key contributor on winning teams. It's not a backhanded compliment. Shawn Marion carved out an impressive 16-year NBA career, averaging 15.2 points, 8.7 rebounds, and nearly 2 assists per game. He was a 4-time All-Star, made All-NBA teams, and won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. Not as the main star, but as a crucial glue guy who did all the little things that make teams great. O'Connor believes Kuminga could thrive in a similar role, an elite two-way wing who defends, rebounds, runs the floor, and fits perfectly alongside stars like Steph Curry. The talent is there, but what about the mindset? There's no question Kuminga has the tools. Athleticism? Off the charts. Versatility? Rare for his age. Raw potential? Still sky high. But O'Connor points to something less tangible, mentality, as the missing piece. I don't see any sign he's willing to embrace that kind of role, O'Connor said. But he has everything it takes to become that guy. He just hasn't made that choice yet. And that yet is important. Kuminga is still incredibly young, and he's never truly had the runway to prove whether or not he can be a franchise player. It's natural that he'd want to bet on himself, to hold out hope for a starring role, either in Golden State or elsewhere. But O'Connor's argument is rooted in a deeper truth about the NBA. Sometimes the path to stardom isn't straight. Sometimes you become a star by doing the hard stuff first, by proving you can win, contribute, and elevate the players around you. That's what Shawn Marion did. And it's what Kuminga could do too, if he's willing to shift his mindset. Golden State still believes, but time is ticking. The Warriors haven't given up on Kuminga, not yet. They know what he brings to the table. And in a league that increasingly values wings who can defend multiple positions and score in transition, Kuminga is a rare asset. But patience has limits. And with Golden State trying to maximize what remains of the Steph Curry era, they need clarity, fast. Will Kuminga commit to growing within the system? Or will he continue to push for something bigger, even if it means leaving the franchise that drafted him? The choice is his. But one thing's for sure, if Kuminga chooses to embrace the role Steve Kerr has laid out, if he leans into being the Warriors' version of Shawn Marion, he won't just earn a bigger contract. He could become a cornerstone of the next great Warriors chapter. A franchise at a crossroads, and a young star standing at a turning point. As the 2025-26 season approaches, Golden State faces a defining question. Can Jonathan Kuminga align with the team's vision before the window on their dynasty closes for good? Internally, the Warriors are still hopeful. League sources suggest that Steve Kerr and GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. have no intention of giving Kuminga away for a cheap return. The organization sees his upside, a rare combination of athleticism, defensive potential, and scoring flashes. But what they need now is buy-in. The Warriors don't need Kuminga to be the next Kevin Durant. They need him to be the best version of himself within a winning system. They need a player who can guard the toughest wings in the league, crash the glass, and cut hard off the ball, all while sharing the floor with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. And that's where the tension lies. Reports indicate Kuminga's camp is still hesitant. After showing promise during stretches last season, including a few breakout performances when injuries opened up minutes, Kuminga believes he's earned a bigger role, perhaps even the keys to his own team. There's a quiet belief that if he were traded to a younger, rebuilding franchise, he could blossom into a star. But Kevin O'Connor and others argue, why not become a star by winning first? The ripple effects, inside and outside the locker room. The situation with Kuminga is more than just a contract dispute. It's become a test case for how the Warriors will navigate their identity in a changing NBA landscape. With Klay Thompson now gone, and Curry entering the final stretch of his prime, the Warriors can't afford to waste another year on internal friction. They need role clarity, unity, and commitment, not just talent. And if Kuminga can't commit, the pressure to move him will only grow. Meanwhile, fans are split. Some still see Kuminga as a future all-star, the bridge between the dynasty and the next generation. Others are growing frustrated, questioning whether his individual aspirations are slowing the team's progress. Social media has been ablaze with debates. Trade Kuminga now while his value's high. We'll regret it if we let him go. He's not the problem, the system is. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. The clock is ticking, and the choice is still Kuminga's. Time is running out for Jonathan Kuminga to decide who he wants to be, not just as a player, but as a professional. Does he want to be remembered as another talented prospect who couldn't find his place? Or as the guy who bought in, stepped up, and helped carry the torch for one of the most iconic franchises in NBA history? Kevin O'Connor's challenge wasn't a critique, it was an invitation. A chance for Kuminga to control his own narrative, and prove that he can impact winning on the highest level. Because if he does, he won't just be the next Shawn Marion. He'll be Jonathan Kuminga, a star in his own right, and a hero in Golden State. Steve Kerr reveals the greatest game he's ever been part of, and says Team USA was lucky to win. Steve Kerr has seen it all. From winning 5 NBA championships as a player to guiding the Golden State Warriors to 4 more as head coach, his career has been nothing short of legendary. But even after all the rings, the buzzer beaters, and the iconic moments, Kerr says the most unforgettable basketball game he's ever been a part of didn't happen in the NBA, it happened on the Olympic stage. Speaking recently on the Glue Guys podcast, Kerr didn't hesitate when asked to name the greatest game of his life. The 2024 Olympic semi-final against Serbia, he said. That was the best basketball game I've ever been involved in. Honestly, we were lucky to come out with the win. We had to make every single play down the stretch, and our guys delivered. It was unreal. Coming from a man who's been part of countless historic games, including Michael Jordan's game winners and Steph Curry's finals heroics, that statement carries real weight. The Team USA vs. Serbia clash was an instant classic, a high-stakes, high-drama showdown between two powerhouses on the world's biggest stage. The intensity, the precision, the pressure, it was everything fans love about the game. And the margin for error? Nearly non-existent. There was even some controversy surrounding the officiating, which only added to the tension. But Kerr's message was clear. Team USA didn't just win, they survived. Stephen Curry seals gold with a signature performance. While Kerr highlighted the semi-final as the most thrilling game he's ever witnessed, he had just as much praise for what came next, the gold medal match against France. That's where Stephen Curry, already considered the greatest shooter in the history of basketball, once again rose to the moment. That game was all Steph, Kerr said. Those 4 three-pointers he hit in the final minutes, that was vintage Curry. Iconic. Just incredible to witness up close. I'll never forget it. Curry dropped 24 points in the gold medal game, including a series of back-breaking threes that silenced France and sealed the win for Team USA. It was a storybook ending for a player who had never competed in the Olympics before 2024, and who made sure to leave his mark in the most Curry way possible. Clutch shots, fearless execution, and a quiet confidence that said, "I've got this." A moment that transcends the game. For Steve Kerr, these Olympic Games weren't just about strategy or stats. They were about legacy, heart, and the kind of sports moments that stay with you for life. I've coached a lot of incredible games, but nothing matched the emotional roller coaster of that semi-final. And seeing Steph finish things off in the final the way he did, it was special, he said. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having a few easier days at work, but moments like those are why we do this. With Olympic gold now part of both Kerr's and Curry's already glittering resumes, the 2024 Games have become a defining chapter in both their careers, a reminder that greatness doesn't just happen in the NBA, and that even legends still chase moments that take their breath away. You've been on every team in the league. Seth Curry recalls a tense on-court exchange with a Warriors star right in front of his brother Steph. Seth Curry has been in the NBA long enough to know that sometimes the real battles aren't just on the scoreboard, they're in the trash talk. During a recent appearance on the Greatest of Their Era podcast, Seth opened up about a heated moment he shared with Draymond Green, a moment that unfolded right in front of his brother, Golden State Warriors legend Stephen Curry. The setting? A high-stakes game between Seth's team and the Warriors during the peak of Golden State's dominance. Tensions were high, and emotions even higher. "I got fouled. Might have even gotten an and one," Seth recalled. Draymond starts chirping. We're jarring back and forth, and I'm at the free throw line. He looks at me and says, "Why are you even talking? You've been on every team in the league." Seth laughed as he retold the story, not just because of the trash talk, but because of the timing. Steph was standing right there. "It was kind of awkward," he said with a grin. "Draymond's my guy, but when he's on the court, he's gonna talk, no matter who you are." But Seth didn't back down. "I just looked at him and said, that's a badge of honor. You know how many guys have been on 2 teams and are out of the league? I've been on 8, 9 teams, and I'm still here. I'd rather have a 12-year career moving around than one team and then be done." A glimpse into the Warriors' golden era swagger. That story likely took place during the height of the Warriors dynasty, when Draymond's confidence and trash talk was backed by wins, banners, and rings. Between 2015 and 2019, Golden State wasn't just a great team, they were a basketball juggernaut. With a core of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and later Kevin Durant, the Warriors went 322-88 across 5 regular seasons. That's an average of just 17 losses per year. Nearly unbeatable. "It's hard to even put into words how dominant they were," Seth said. "Playing them during that run, you just had to be perfect. And even then, it might not be enough." For many fans, watching the Warriors in that era felt like witnessing history in real time, a mix of Showtime flash, defensive grit, and championship poise. Family, rivalry, and respect. What makes Seth's story even more compelling is the family dynamic. To trade barbs with Draymond Green, a fierce competitor and emotional leader, is one thing. To do it while your older brother, arguably the face of the franchise, is standing a few feet away? That's another. But for the Curry brothers, it's always been about mutual respect. Seth has carved out a successful NBA career on his own terms, with perseverance, resilience, and clutch shooting that's made him a valued asset on every roster he's joined. And while the exchange with Draymond may have been intense, it was also real, a moment that captures the raw emotion of NBA basketball, where egos, pride, and reputations are always on the line. Golden State Warriors eye top remaining free agent as potential Kuminga replacement. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly pursuing a player recently labeled the best remaining free agent by an NBA analyst, signaling a potential shakeup as the franchise navigates a rocky offseason. As of early August, the Warriors remain the only team yet to make a free agent signing this summer. The reason? A stalled contract negotiation with rising star Jonathan Kuminga, who is reportedly eager to move on. Sources say Kuminga believes his development has been held back in Golden State, and he's already turned down a $45 million, 2-year extension from the team. Both the Sacramento Kings and the Phoenix Suns are said to be interested in Kuminga, but unless a trade materializes, they'll have to wait until next summer. So far, no deal has been struck, but a new opportunity may have emerged. Warriors reportedly interested in Josh Giddy in potential Kuminga swap. According to insider reports, the Warriors have reached out to Josh Giddy's camp about a possible deal with the Chicago Bulls. Giddy, recently called the top remaining free agent by NBA analyst Brett Siegel, Clutch Points, is generating league-wide interest. NBA reporter Jake Fisher, Bleacher Report, confirmed. Several teams have expressed interest in Josh Giddy. Golden State is one of them. Depending on how the pieces fall into place, there's interest in a potential swap involving Giddy and Kuminga. It would be a massive move for Golden State. The Warriors have been unwilling to include Moses Moody or Buddy Hield in previous trade discussions, making it difficult to find the right deal. Meanwhile, Chicago is struggling to meet Giddy's contract demands as a restricted free agent. Giddy is reportedly seeking around $30 million per year after averaging 14.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.2 assists last season. Kuminga, on the other hand, is said to want roughly $27 million annually, with contract length being the sticking point. If both teams agree, a straight-up trade could work financially. And for the Warriors, This wouldn't be the first time Giddy's name was on their radar. Warriors almost drafted Giddy in 2021. Back in the 2021 NBA draft, Golden State had Giddy high on their board. Jake Fisher revealed that if Kuminga had gone off the board earlier, the Warriors were ready to take Giddy with the 7th pick. The Warriors were prepared for OKC to take Kuminga at no. 6. If that had happened, Golden State was ready to select Giddy at no. 7. Instead, the order flipped. Giddy went to OKC, and Kuminga landed in Golden State. But with Kuminga's relationship with the team deteriorating, especially after a frustrating playoff run where his role only increased after Steph Curry's injury, a reunion with the idea of Giddy is now very real. A win-win reset? Both the Warriors and Bulls appear stuck. Golden State is ready to move on from Kuminga, while Chicago is reluctant to commit to Giddy's price tag. A clean swap could provide both franchises the fresh start they need. For the Warriors, Giddy would likely lead the second unit, bringing playmaking, size, and versatility to a roster still chasing Steph Curry's 5th NBA title. With youth on his side and untapped potential, Giddy could be the missing piece in Golden State's quest for another ring. And while other teams like the Suns and Kings might have an edge in negotiations, the Bulls and Warriors are in the same position, looking for answers. That could be the key to getting a deal done. Long-term implications. What a Giddy-Kuminga trade could mean. If the Golden State Warriors successfully pull off a trade for Josh Giddy, the move could have far-reaching consequences, not just for the season, but for the franchise's trajectory over the next several years. For starters, Giddy fits the mold of the modern NBA guard-forward hybrid. At 6 feet 8 inches, he offers unique versatility, court vision, and ball-handling skills, traits that could elevate Golden State's bench production and ease the offensive load on Steph Curry. His ability to operate as a secondary playmaker and control tempo could be invaluable, especially as the team seeks to remain competitive while transitioning toward a younger core. That youth movement appears to be a growing priority within the Warriors' front office. After the departure of veteran leaders like Klay Thompson, and with Draymond Green aging and battling injuries, Golden State is clearly shifting gears, aiming to build around a new generation of talent while still leveraging the final prime years of Curry's career. Kuminga was once seen as a central part of that next generation. His athleticism, scoring flashes, and defensive upside gave fans a reason to believe he could be a future star. But his frustration with inconsistent playing time and lack of a defined role, especially during key playoff moments, has created an undeniable tension. NBA insider Mark Spears recently reported that Kuminga felt marginalized by the coaching staff and questioned whether the team truly saw him as a cornerstone. His rejection of a $45 million offer signals that he's ready to bet on himself, even if it means leaving the dynasty he once hoped to help continue. The market reacts. What are other teams saying? The buzz around a potential Giddy-Kuminga swap has not gone unnoticed. League executives have privately acknowledged that both players could benefit from a change of scenery, but opinions are divided on who's truly getting the better end of the deal. Some scouts argue that Giddy's all-around game and higher basketball IQ make him a safer long-term investment, especially under the guidance of a coach like Steve Kerr. Others believe that Kuminga's ceiling is still higher, citing his elite athleticism and two-way potential, as long as he lands in a system that empowers him to play freely. Teams like the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings are reportedly monitoring the situation closely. While both franchises have expressed interest in Kuminga, neither has been able to offer a compelling enough package to sway Golden State, yet. That may soon change if the Giddy talks fall through. According to sources, the Kings have floated future first-round picks and rotational pieces, while the Suns remain intrigued by the idea of pairing Kuminga with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, but salary cap limitations have made trade logistics complicated. A defining moment for the front office. For Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy Jr., this potential trade represents one of his most critical early decisions since taking over the front office reins. Balancing the legacy of a championship core with the need to retool for the future is no small task. Bringing in a player like Giddy could signal a pivot toward a more balanced roster, one that doesn't rely so heavily on aging superstars, but instead blends experience with upside. At the same time, letting go of Kuminga, a player the team once invested so much in, could spark criticism if he blossoms elsewhere. But standing still may be even riskier. The Warriors are coming off a disappointing season and can't afford another year of locker room drama and inconsistent performance. Final thoughts. Is Giddy the right fit? There's no question that Josh Giddy brings a lot to the table. His age, skill set, and style of play could mesh well with Golden State's system, especially in a ball movement-heavy offense. While he may not be a superstar today, under the right circumstances, he has the tools to become a difference-maker. Whether or not this trade materializes, one thing is clear: change is coming to the Bay Area. The Warriors are no longer just a team of legends. They're a franchise at a crossroads, trying to walk the tightrope between honoring a historic era and building for what comes next. And a move like this could be the first real step into that future.